What if I told you the biggest problem with AI video generation isn't tied closely to the model, but the workflow? Right now, most AI video generators work like a slot machine. You type a prompt, click generate, and then hope the result looks cinematic. But there's a better way to create AI videos, and it's the method I use to create the video you're about to see.
Some moves cost you. One mistake is all it takes.
Be gone! I banish you!
Checkmate.
And the reason this workflow works so well is simple. Instead of generating random clips and trying to piece them together, you build your video step by step, controlling the scene, the shots, and the entire creative process. This is how the pro players in the creative industry create insanely good videos. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I'm also going to show you 3 things most people are not doing that can transform your video from just a regular AI video into a cinematic video that makes people ask, wait, is this actually AI? My name is Charles. Let's get started. Now, one of the biggest problems in AI video creation today is the story workflow. Most AI video generators are designed to create individual clips, not complete stories. So if you want to create something cinematic, you end up jumping between tools. You generate one clip, download it, generate another clip, then try to stitch everything together in an editor. But filmmaking doesn't work like that. Real cinematic videos start with a story, they move into scenes, then shots, and finally the finished film. Traditional AI generators keep this entire process. They focus on generating clips instead of helping you build a structured video project that can be reusable or cloned. And this creates 3 big problems. First, creativity becomes harder. Cinematic consistency breaks, and the workflow becomes slow and frustrating, especially when you're trying to create longer videos. This is where Tapnow comes into play. I'll leave the link to Tapnow in the description of this video. It solves one of the biggest problems in AI video creation, the workflow. Now, this tool gives you a workspace where you can build your video step by step. You can organize your projects into scenes, shots, and visual elements just like a real filmmaker would. This helped me create the video I showed you earlier faster and with much better cinematic control and consistency. And once you start working this way, creating cinematic AI videos becomes much easier, much faster, and far more creative. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe because you're missing out on a lot. So subscribe, like, and drop a comment. On Tapnow, I'll click on Chat Agent. You can use the agent to find inspiration, build and structure your scripts, and create storyboards and videos. So to find inspiration for my video, I'll just enter this prompt, and boom, it gives me ideas I can use for the video. I can also enter this prompt to generate storyboards. Here it generated 4 different storyboard options which I can use to build my video. I can just say extract the frames from grade 1 and create a video, and boom, it turns that storyboard into a full video. This is powerful. It does the heavy lifting for you, so even as a beginner, you don't have to struggle to create your story. Now, after brainstorming your ideas, come over to the canvas, double click, then click image, enter our prompt, and choose the model. We can use the latest model here, which is Nano Banana 2. Now over here, we can select lens. Remember, what we are aiming for is a cinematic video that can stand side by side with real footage. And this brings us to the second thing most people don't do. They don't make their base image look cinematic. If your base image looks great, there's a high chance your video will also look high quality. But if the image looks flat or generic, the video will usually look the same. Personally, I really like the Arri Alexa camera look, so I'm going to go with that, and then I'm going to pair it with the signature prime lens 35mm and save. Then we set the aspect ratio, confirm it's set to 2K, and once everything looks good, we generate. So from here, we can generate other images for this scene. For this one, I created an extreme macro shot to show the chest piece. Now, this brings us to the third thing that most people don't do, and it can completely change how your video feels. Scene transitions. How do you want to take the viewer to the next scene? Jump cut, zoom in, zoom out, or speed ramp. These transitions help your story flow smoothly instead of feeling like random clips stitched together. In my case, I want the next scene to start with a zoom in transition. So the camera will zoom into the chest pawn, and that pawn will transition into a man standing in a busy city. So to make this work, I want an ultra close-up shot of the pawn's tip. To do that, what I'm going to do is click here and then select annotation. Then I mark the exact area that I want the camera to zoom into and save it. Next, I send that marked image to generate a new image. And that's how I created this extreme close-up shot. If you want to generate a close-up shot from any image, using annotation to mark the area is one of the fastest way to do it. You can also use it to add or modify elements within the scene. So from there, I generated additional shots of the man for the next part of the story. And the great thing about this workspace is that you can move these shots around and properly arrange your workflow. Just drag it, and it makes it much easier for you to plan and build your cinematic sequence. Now that we have some of our images ready, we can start creating the videos for the scene. Double tap the canvas, then select video, upload your images, and generate. Earlier, I generated this image of a man from the pawn, which allows us to create a smooth transition between the two scenes. So the sequence works like this. The player holds a pawn, places it on the board, and as the camera zooms into the pawn, it transitions and then transforms into the man standing in a busy city. Because we planned the shots and the transitions earlier, the scene now flows naturally instead of feeling like two random clips put together. So here I'll upload the first and the last frame. Click first frame, select any image from the workflow to use, and then do the same for the last frame. Next, I'll select the model, choose the duration, and once everything is ready, hit generate. Now, the reason I really enjoy working inside this workspace in Tapnow is that you can see everything you're working on in one place. Your scenes, images, transitions, and videos are all visible on the canvas. It also makes it very easy to reuse the same workflow later. All you need to do is replace the images here, keep the structure, and you quickly create another cinematic sequence without starting from scratch. In fact, if I click on share, I can share this exact workflow, including the prompts and the setup, with anyone. They can open it, view it, clone the template, and use this same workflow for their videos. So I'm going to leave the link to this workflow in the description of this video. Over here, if we zoom out, you see all the videos and images used in this workflow. Now, if you look at these transitions that were created, for this transition here, I used this image as first frame and this as last frame to get this transition. And you can see I actually did three. The first one stood out to me and I decided to use that. And you can see from here, I was able to generate a close-up shot of the man and where he runs out of the screen. And then another tricky part is getting his leg, where remember he's standing at the center of the road, getting his foot, the back side of his foot, and him running to the side of the street or the walkway. Now, it first generated the image of the front. I said, oh, show the shot from behind, and then it showed the shot from behind. And from this, I was able to create this video here where the man was, running. And here, I actually did two different videos. And then I added like a speed ramp to it. Now, the trickiest part of this workflow is creating the queen, getting the queen to meet with the pawn and the pawn passing out on the road. That was very tricky, and here's how I created it. Now, if I zoom into the queen of the black piece, if I click on her, you can see that I generated her separately using text to image. Then I use this image to get a video of her walking. And then the tricky part is, getting a tracking shot of the man running and then meeting this lady on the road, keeping that same consistency. Here's what I did. Here, I used this image here. You can see it's linked here. I annotated it. So why did I annotate it? Because I wanted the man to walk in the exact position as I've envisioned. So here you can see that I marked here XX, and then I used this marking, this annotation. I uploaded the scene and then uploaded this man's image and entered this prompt here that says insert the man in the area marked XX cinematic tracking shot from behind, and I was able to get this image here. And then from this image I produced this video. Now remember, in this particular shot the man's face was not showing, so in order to keep that consistency of the man's face, I had to add the man's image here and the lady's image, because while the man was running he met the queen. So you can see the video. So you can see it kept that consistency. This just makes the whole, process easy. And here for the bishop, in a chess you have a bishop, right? And here for the bishop, I just generated an image of the bishop and used that image and this particular scene that was generated earlier to generate this image of him binding the other white piece queen. And obviously he didn't fall for her. Then I used this image I generated and the scene to ensure that this image matches that particular daytime scene, and it gave me that daytime scene. And from there I produced a video here where I can see him binding. So this whole workflow just makes it easy for you to create and plan your project. You can see everything used here. It makes it very easy for you to create. And then the last part which really stood out to me was the video where it zoomed in to the king of the black piece and then transitioned upward. Here I use first and last frame to do the transition to the sky to get this video, and from the sky back to the hand, right? I use the sky as the first frame and this hand as the last frame to produce this particular video here. Now if you zoom out, you see how the entire workflow looks like. The scenes, the videos, the transitions, everything. You can see how organized they are on the canvas, which makes it much easier to see how your story is developing from start to finish. And once you've generated all the videos for each of the scene, after you've gotten everything from here, the final step is to put everything together in a video editor to create your full cinematic story. So here's the video I created using this beautiful workflow.
Some moves cost you. One mistake is all it takes.
Be gone! I banish you!
Checkmate.
I'm going to leave this Tapnow workflow in the description of this video. Once you click the link, it will take you to this page right here, and all you have to do is just to click clone project and you have access to the exact workflow and prompts I used. From there, you can just change the images and update the prompts to create your own cinematic story. If you check the arena page, you'll see plenty of challenges that you can join, plus cash prizes and tappies to be won. So sign up, create your video and join the challenges. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe. There are lots of helpful videos here. So subscribe, like and share this video to someone that you love. I'll see you in this video here.